Try HelloFresh UK to get 60% off your first box, 25% off for 2 months, and to, of course, help support this channel. Link is down in the description. Thank you for your support. Well, for the first time today, we will face Premier League opposition with Southend United, and we come into it off the back of a good festive period, but also a defeat to Southend United. So after losing against them, we've now got to try and compete against the team in the Europa League. Can we shock Everton and Sean Dyche in the FA Cup third round? Yes, hello and welcome along to part 20 of Saving Southend with me, Daniel. We are back today for probably the biggest single game in this save so far as we host Everton in the FA Cup third round. I would expect Roots Hall to be sold out and I would expect us to fight all the way. But can we make it for at least a replay and get the money spinning in the FA Cup? Hopefully we'll find out the answer to that, but the good news is we are top of League 2. That is despite the fact that we lost our last game and we lost the first game of the last episode. But it seems like 2 points a game is going to be enough, probably realistic if we're being honest, but it is still incredibly tight with the top 7 separated by 6 points. The good news is the rest of it below is starting to drift away. We'll also face Crewe a bit later in this episode, a side at the bottom looking to cause a shock against us. Will there be an FA Cup hangover? Well, if you're looking forward to finding out, please do put a thumbs up on it. For now, we're going to very quickly look at transfers and scheduling. Then we're going to get straight into it because this is a huge game for us. Let's go and have a look at the transfers because there's nothing actually happening yet. We've not had any transfers in or out. But our director of football, John Still, soon to be retiring, has made a loan offer for a right back who I'm not sure about yet. He's a bit taller than Matheson, he's natural in both roles, and he is very quick to be fair, very competent physically, but positioning and determination are weakness. I'm not sure I'm going to go with John Still on that one. So he's not going to come in, I don't think, but offers going in from Still already. And as you can see, we've got plenty of money to spend if we need to. But many of you have followed me for years will know it's going to be all about the facilities and the other stuff first. So if we go and get an update on that, we, of course, have still got this progress item about building a new stadium. We're in a really good position at the minute and we're competing in League 2, so not too worried given the stadium size we can attract at the minute. What I am interested in, though, is that if we go to the club info and the facilities, we've had an upgrade on the training side. We're going to try and follow that up this year with the youth one and wait until after today because the finances will look a lot better after this game. And we'll also try and start upgrading the other stuff as well. I don't know why they're searching for a future stadium with a smaller capacity than this one. That could be problematic for the long-term future of this save if it's not got a big expansion potential, but we'll come back to that as we need to. Let's go and have a look at the schedule via the finances. You can see after today, we'll probably be in and around the 2 million mark, depending on the result. But let's have a look at the schedule because you were with me for that triple header against top of the table sides last time. We lost to Doncaster, but then won brilliantly at Bradford and Forest Green. We then mentioned we had those 3 really lowly sides at home, and we actually beat them all, but it wasn't convincing. Crewe, who we'll face today, was the most comfortable of them, and otherwise we played against really defensive sides and had to be patient to nick a 1-0. We beat Grimsby by that scoreline. Gus Scott Morris scored in the 73rd minute. Got a weird habit of popping up with goals he has. That was after a red card for Grimsby, and they sat back with 10 men. Against Crewe, we won 3-1. We did go 3-0 up with Will Ferry's brace and Aaron Presley, but we're almost pegged back a bit later. And then against Solihull, it was Harry Titchmarsh from a set piece. 78 minutes in. Wasn't it the same against Forest Green? It was. He gave us the opener there. This time he scored the winner against Solihull. And then a 2-1 defeat at Sutton. Frustration, I think you'd say. We're a little bit short of players after 3 games in 6 days. Jayden Dan's actually played up front on his own as the target man. And we had a few players who were playing in either unfavourable positions or who weren't fully fit. Jayden Dan's did manage to get another goal, which hopefully will increase his value ahead of January. But for now, let's go and get through to our FA Cup tie. Everton are not the side you're used to in real life in this save at the minute. They are a side who were 7th in the league last year, who are 7th in the league now, and are playing in the Europa League after some big money signings. They've got big games coming up in that competition. I'm sure they'll be focusing on it as well. Let's have a look, though, at what they've been doing, because this year, They've only spent 40 million, but they've bought in some good players. The likes of Marcus Alonso, Callum Chambers, Pablo Fornals. Very sort of Sean Dyche signings, you might say. But the net spend's pretty big. The year before, spent 95 million, sold 53. They're definitely making a bit of an imprint, and they're definitely bolstering their squad and making sure they've got strength in depth as well as initial quality. So let's go and have a look now. Odsonne Edouard as well. Jack Clark from Sunderland. Yeah, they've been picking some good players up. So let's get through the fixtures and see how we go. In an ideal world, I would play the back three today. I would play that 3-4-3 and see how we get on the road. But as you may have noticed, we've got a centre-half out with the flu. We've got Sonny Hilton on the right out with the flu. And with the league the priority this season, as much as I love this game, it's not quite going to work out. The biggest signing we've got at Everton, and I've got to mention him now, is Neymar is visiting Roots Hall today. He is very over the hill physically, but technically and mentally, he's still not too bad. You've got to say that. Still rated elite, having joined from Al Hilal, and he is now a key feature in their Europa League side, scoring 5 in 6 games for them there. So, bit of a surprise name and a bit of an elite name to turn up at Southend. I think this is one that would be on TV in real life, and it is in this save as well. We have got a sold-out Roots Hall. Calvert-Lewin is the most hilarious bit of this because he has missed 2 matches in the league since this save started. Played 37 the first season, started 37 the next season, and has played 20 out of 20 this year. It's remarkable. He's missed 2 games, so maybe a little bit of lack of realism there. But look at the side they're putting out. Calvert-Lewin, Neymar, Fornals, Onana in midfield. You've got the likes of Pickford, the England #1, Mikalenko, Branthwaite, Jack Harrison. This is a good side. We're going to go as strong as we can, but we're going to have to go 4-4-2. It doesn't suit it, and it may be problematic, but we've got to get the most out of this side. And at the moment, this is the only shape we can do it in. So this is the team we've gone for. We've got 6 days off after, so fatigue isn't a big worry. I have left Daniel Cox on the bench and Jack Earing. Both of them have been struggling a little bit with match load. The only one with a heavy match load who's starting is Kingdon, and that's because Baggett's out. Otherwise, he would have started this game. If Daniel Cox had been fit, he might have as well. But this is the 11 we've gone for. Daniel Rose is becoming a superstar in goal and worth 4 times what we signed him for. Matheson and Early the fullbacks with Parker and Kingdon as centre-half. We've got Dewenny covering on the right because of the illness to Hilton, with Titchmarsh and Morehouse in the middle and Will Ferry over on the left. And then up front, it is Presley and Dans. Dans wants to go from this club. He wants to leave. He wants to go and play more football. But if he scores against Everton in the FA Cup, going to be adding a few pound notes to his value. Let's go and see how we get on in this one. It's more a day for the fans rather than expecting to win. If we can do something special and sneak a replay, then great. But for now, we're just going to enjoy it. Through to the match we go. It is Southend v Premier League Everton. Well, 4 changes for our visitors today. And in fact, Calvert-Lewin must have missed his first match of the season because he's coming back into the team. He replaces Beto. Maybe he came off the bench, I don't know. Harrison, Mikalenko and Kai the other 3 in. And even on the bench, they've got real quality. So let's get through the dressing room. Ask the lads to prove a point. Do what you can. There's no big pressure on us today, so we can have a go. And I might push Dewenny a bit further forward just for a laugh. See how we get on. Through the dressing room, through the match preview. Look at that beautiful sold-out stadium. Why would you want to move to a smaller one? 4-4-2 for us, the old-school English formation. I'm sure Sean Dyche will appreciate it if nothing else, as we win the ball back early with Parker. Early goes back to his goalkeeper Rose, and out to the right to Matheson, who is now man-marking Neymar today. He gets down the wing to Dewenny and Presley. Will he still have a goal threat at this level? Tell you what, we're keeping the ball all right here. Matheson back to Kingdon. The less chasing we have to do, the better for us later on. Titchmarsh finds Morehouse and Dans. Good football again for Morehouse. Through to Jayden Dans. In he goes. Great save, Pickford. Oh, if he'd got himself on a score sheet, he'd have suddenly been worth a lot more money. It's a bit of a shame, that. It's a shame we're having to look at it that way, but he wants to force his way out. Ferry with the corner in, headed away well. A positive start for Southend. Matheson puts it back in the box. But it's overhit and easy for Pickford. 3 minutes gone. A brilliant start, but almost perfect if we'd got the goal. And now we've had the only shots on target. We've had the better of the play. But you would expect Everton to grow into this. And if we don't get a lead, they'll peg us back late on. We know that for sure. What's happened there? Did you see that? We've come back for a highlight as the ball hit the back of the net. but the offside flag had already gone up. What happens if we click the replay? Do we see the whole thing? Oh, right, we do. So something had just gone a little awry there. Neymar put a free kick in. Martin down. Kai shot. No, back out to Neymar. Yeah, he was offside as well. Just made the run too early and he didn't need to. What a bizarre way to come back for the highlight. 20 minutes gone, a first warning shot for us. And now it's another Everton free kick as we're back live. Neymar putting the ball up to Harrison, who's got free again. Haven't learned our lesson, have we? Rose makes the save. It's good goalkeeping. He's been one of my favourite signings of this save so far. We spent money on him, but I'm glad we did. As Neymar puts the corner in. Good delivery to the back post. Ferry up and heads away. And we get away with that one too. 25 gone. To be fair, Everton have only had one shot on target. I'm happy so far. Just having a look at the latest scores. It's not going quite so well for Wealdstone. They're 8 down at Chelsea with 40 minutes gone. But that's a pretty tough tie, isn't it? Broja with a hat-trick. 2 more on one already. And now Mudrik's got one. They could be double figures by half-time. They are. Oh, wow. That's harsh. That is so harsh. Let's get through the dressing room. Prove a point again. We are 45 minutes from a replay, which will be both unlikely and incredible. Can we push on? Branthwaite has got to throw it right back. Down the line he goes. Fornells wins it. Branthwaite again inside to Rafa Marin. He goes across the box and again, we're not able to push as high and get that pressure on here. As we're chasing shadows, we'll get fatigued. As we nick it on the right with Matheson. Delaney can't quite get there. That's a shame. It switched to Harrison. Good chasing from Airley. It's cut back to Anana. He finds Branthwaite. Good shape, but again, they've got in. And this time Harrison does score. Definitely onside. Just made a clever run. It's the inevitable. Do you know what? We've given them a really good game. Unfortunately, they've just got too much quality. And it's shown again there. Not sure really why Titchmarsh has been blamed for that. He closed the ball down. And yes, he missed the interception. But he was trying to get there. It wasn't he was favourite to win it. Neymar's probably going to come off soon. And we're going to make a few changes as well. Because Delaney on the right is struggling. I'm going to give Billy Vigor a run out. Because there's not really many alternatives out there. He can't play right midfield properly. But he'll come on like for like. I'm also going to apply a little bit of sentiment here. And I'm going to bring on Dan Mooney for Will Ferry. Because he's knackered. And I'm going to bring on Cardwell for Aaron Presley. Because he's the hero that got us to the Football League. Titchmarsh is now in danger of being booked. So let's just bring Erin on. Make sure we don't have any problems with that. And then the final sub, we'll probably leave 10 more minutes just so we don't end up playing 10v11. But I wonder who we'll bring on. There's a pending change, which means we may well concede in this highlight. As Parker gets the ball into Morehouse, back to Saxon Airley. Imagine we score now. Might have to cancel them. Through ball to Ferry. He's 1-on-1. Will Ferry. Presley. What a save, Pickford. Presley has a golden chance. It's back to Matheson again. Deflects into Presley. Back to Morehouse. Doesn't go for his long range strike this time. I think it's petered out. But what an opportunity. I mean, you look at the stats. We've given as good as we've got in this game. We have not been outplayed by any means. But as we get towards the latter stages in an FA Cup tie, this is where it normally becomes a worry and a bit problematic. Because are we going to run out of steam? As Dan's wins it for Cardwell. Holds it up for Dan Mooney. Won't be good enough after this season, but what a moment for him. Dan's can't get there, but Mooney does. Hang on, he might set a goal up against Everton. Mooney to the byline, crosses in. Dan's heads wide. Oh, it's another great chance. We're the better side at the minute. Why is Jayden Dan's captain? Don't quite understand that, but at the moment, we're pushing Everton all the way. I've got Morehouse struggling in midfield, but I've not really got an option other than to bring on Tomlinson and put Airley in there. And I'm not sure that's the right one either. I might be forced to do it regardless. Do we bring Joe Tomlinson on? Yes, we do. He's going to replace Morehouse. Airley will go in there. And he'll switch roles with Jack Earing. We have got 15 minutes to go. We have given Everton one hell of a scare in this game. They're 1-0 up. They've had a couple of good chances, but we have had 3 or 4 glorious ones. Pickford's been forced into 2 great saves. And now we've got a counter-attack on with Luke Matheson. Everton throwing men forward. Not sure why. Matheson finds Billy Vigor. Barely featured this year. It's a great ball in, though. It's Dan's onside. It's given. My initial instinct was that it was off. But Jayden Dan's, the man who wants to go, has just added some real money to his value there. And he may have got us a replay against Everton. There's 5 minutes to go. Odson Edward is on. Cardwell nicks it again. Billy Vigor's in. What is happening here? Billy Vigor to the edge of the box. Shot is comfortably over. Everton look more tired at the moment. And as we head towards stoppage time, I know we've had the better chances to win it. But you will not be too upset with me for time wasting here. Because if I'm being honest with you, depending on who we got in the fourth round, a replay against Everton might actually be the more lucrative option. More TV money surely. Definitely a bigger crowd in at now the new Everton Stadium. So I'm going to drop Saxonelli in as a centre midfielder on defend. We're going to time waste all the time. We're still going to run at the defence. We're still going to counter them. But when we haven't got the ball, we've got to be a little more disciplined here. The 4-4-2 has stunned them. We've attacked them. We've pushed on. With 2 minutes to go. This so often happens in the FA Cup. Heartbreak. Mikolenko on the left. Into Tavernier. Oh no. Edouard hits the bar. Underside and somehow stays out as well. But there's the difference. Two players combined that both cost 17.5 million. But it doesn't matter. Southend have got a replay against Everton. Our expected goals is well higher. We had the best chances of the match there. We didn't have the ruthless edge. What a result. What a performance. And Jayden Danns, you're worth a bit more money now, son. Let's go and get through and see how we get on against Crewe. The replay we will get beaten. There's no doubt about that. Chelsea won 15-0 against Wealdstone. That seems a little bit over the top. But I'm sure Sean Dyche will take the positive. He's still in the hat despite a huge scare. Parker is a little jaded. I might take a risk here. Send him on a week's holiday. He misses the Crewe game. He's back for Everton because the Fleetwood game is rearranged. An Everton replay at Goodison Park, or now, is it the Bramley Moor? It is. The Bramley Moor Dock Stadium is going to be on the horizon. What an event for the football club, and what a bit of income on the way. Finances up to 100 grand. It'll be more than that next week. But for now, the focus is back on the league. We've got to do the job against Crewe. Well, we're back for fitness test time against Crewe, but firstly, we've had a very good week financially and in terms of off the pitch, because if we have a look at this deal, Daniel Bentley has brought us in about 10 grand for moving on to Hearts for 175. We have now got a couple of injury problems, Morehouse struggling after a knock yesterday, but the big news of the week is that we've had a big offer for a player and a withdrawn transfer request. That is for Jayden Danns, and I nearly said Neil Danns, the old pro there. Jayden Danns is requested to be withdrawn from the transfer list. That means he is now worth 600 grand, and Cardiff may well come in. I've got a feeling there might be some big sales this window, and the first of them may already be agreed, because if we go to the transfers, Amaro Nallo, a man we signed in the summer who hasn't really played a great deal and hasn't really improved a great deal, has now been offered a massive money move. Now, he's a player who's got weaknesses, has got a decent personality and has a lot of strengths as well. But with heading of 7, decisions of 8, strength of 9, he's never going to be the perfect centre-half and apparently doesn't have the biggest future potential either. So when Millwall came in with an offer of 350 grand, well in fact they came in with 250 initially, we said chuck an extra 100 grand on and give us a 50% sell-on clause, which hopefully I can buy out at some point. It was just a no-brainer. For someone who's, 5th or 6th choice centre-half, albeit a youngster that may be better in the future, 350 grand and a 50% sell-on is an irrefusable offer. I'm sorry, it is. So let's go and get through to the fixtures. Focus on Crewe Alexandra, because yes, we've got Everton on Wednesday, but that's going to be a game again that is a bonus. And I was proven right, by the way. We get through, we're playing away at Fulham or Blackpool, so Everton away has been the most lucrative tie, depending on what attendance we get. Crewe away, though, is a big game for Southend. We've got to try and stay near the top of the league. Crewe played their game in hand on Tuesday, and they won it 3-0 away from home, so they're in good form. They have, though, had a very difficult season up to this point, and now have John Messinho in charge, the man who's unbeaten with Pompey in real life. Let's go and get through the team selection, because we're going to our away tactic today. We're going to play the 3-4-3. We'll be back in a minute with our chosen 11. Well, with Morehouse injured and Parker out rested, this is the team that we've gone for today. I've tried to make a couple of rotation options, just thinking of the future. So we're a little bit short in midfield at the minute with the Morehouse knock and Husin both wanting out and not being good enough. So as a result of that, Saxonelli is dropped for Tomlinson, so he can almost be an extra backup midfielder. We've also gone for Presley up front. Hilton is back from injury on the right. And Baggett back from injury at left centre half. We're not sure how long he'll last though, so Lomas is on the bench as well. It means the 11 in 4 sees I don't know how many changes. Tomlinson is in, Baggett is in, Cox is in, Earing is in, and Hilton is in. So 5 changes in total. The players dropping out will be Dans, Dewenny, Early, Parker and Morehouse. And a big surprise, not on the bench today, Harry Cardwell. I've left him out for Jayden Dans because he's been the informed striker. So I've got to give him an opportunity. He'll be the man to come on if we need it. But for now, this is the 11 we've gone for. And let's make sure that that big effort against Everton wasn't wasted. Because if we throw away our chance at promotion this year, we might end up regretting it, because this league realistically can only get stronger from League One relegations. I've just had a look actually at the League One table, as Crewe have made 6 changes from their midweek game. Zach Williams drops out, a player we know very well from the last couple of years on this channel. Shiloh Tracy, I managed all the way back in FM20 with Macclesfield, what a man. Charlie Finney in there, Billy Sass Davis of Borehamwood in real life. There's a few familiar names about for sure. However, we're going to get through the dressing room. Going back to League One, I was having a look at the table. At the moment, Barnsley, MK Dons, Bristol Rovers all set to come down. This league will get stronger next year. We've got to take advantage at the minute. We go away to Crewe, we've picked the tactic we think is right. And with 5 minutes gone, it's been a very quiet start, but we saw it a lot over the festive period, including at home to Crewe. We've not had many great, exciting games as they get in from a free kick. Daniel Rose, take a bow. First free kick beats him, it hits the woodwork. Back out to Drummond, who's completely unmarked. Defenders, have a look at yourselves. He gets up in time, gets across his goal and holds the shot. What a player. We haven't been brilliant over the festive period. That free kick from Baggett's awful. And he gets away with it. We've been winning games 1-0, 2-1. We've been nicking results where possible. And hopefully we can do it today, as Earing in the holding role. Picks the ball up well. Carries it over halfway to Sonny Hilton, who's back and fresh after injury. Loses the ball, but it falls nicely for Matheson. Back to Earing on the edge of the box. Great effort. 4th goal of the season for Jack Earing. He's had a poor little spell. He's out of contract at the end of the year, and I'm umming and ahhing about whether to renew it. He's trying to tempt me with moments like that, isn't he? First shot of the game, we've been really poor. We've nicked one on the road, and that's what we want. We're going to keep praising the lads, because it's not about playing brilliantly at the moment. It's about finding a way. And with 0.08 expected goals and 1 moment of magic from 1 shot, we lead at half time. And if we do that and keep hold of it, we'll stay top of the table. Let's go and get through, ask the lads to prove a point. We've got them all on board. We've got a happy dressing room. And at the moment, we're doing well, as Tomlinson's away down the left. Good ball in, headed away by Drummond, and now they can counter. Holishek brings it clear. Got 3 in the middle, and he turns inside to them. Finds his midfielder. In the centre circle, back to Holishek, over to Keller. And the header's comfortably wide. Good defensive shape. We're not giving up many great chances, but it has not been a good performance, and it looks a bit tired. We've got to play Everton again in 4 days, and a lot of these players will feature. So we need to keep people fit. We're going to make changes in a minute. But for now, I'm relatively happy that despite being completely outplayed, we are FMing our host today. I'm going to make the change in defence because Baggett was not fully fit. Lomas will come on for him with Cox switching to the left. Presley will get a rest again with Jayden Dans up front. Did well in that role last time. We'll do it again. We've got the wingers to worry about. Dewenny can come on for Hilton, and he'll play off the right-hand side. And then Titchmarsh in midfield, maybe for Norhusin, but not just yet. We've still got 25 to go. I know Crewe haven't created anything brilliant, but they have been the dominant side. There's no denying that. As Dewenny puts the corner in, headed away as far as Earing, the current hero. Can he find a delivery? Up to Titchmarsh on the edge of the box. Back to Lomas, the sub. He's got support. Goes short to Cox. Tipped over towards Dewenny. Loses his header, but Tomlinson back in. Headed away again. Woodcock brings it clear. Over halfway, the support either side. Tomlinson does well. Doesn't get enough on it to keep the ball though. Woodcock's going all the way. He's got to the byline. Cuts it back to Mackenzie. Do not let them score. Mackenzie in. Great save from Rose. The goalkeeper is literally the hero at the minute. 15 to go. We're being completely outclassed. We are well and truly FMing them at the minute. I've got to take Ferry off. Can either of Early or Tomlinson play attacking midfield? Saxon Early is the best of the two, so he'll go up there. And then we'll give it another few minutes. We've got one more sub break, haven't we? It will probably be Jack Earing off for Hussein because he's knackered. He has been about the best player on the pitch. As with 5 to go, Titchmarsh is now knackered as well, so let's take him off. Nor Hussein will get the run out. Which way round are you better? Makes no difference at all. 5 to go. Completely dominated all game. This will be a smash and grab if ever you've seen one. We're into the 90th minute and we are going to time waste for the added 4. We're going to get the fullbacks back into their defensive duties. We're not going to look for the overlap anymore. And we are going to hold on for dear life. Fullbacks on defend. There we go. Earing can be a deep line playmaker on support. Airley can drop to right midfield. Dewenny, you're going to have to do the same on the left, my friend. And for the final couple of minutes, we will not pass into space. We will slow the pace down. We will time waste all the time. We can still run at the defence, I don't mind that. But no overlapping, not quite as wide. Let's slow the pace down. Let's not even counter them. Let's play for a classic 1-0. We got 2 in games we dominated at home over the festive break. What about now? Dewenny, poor free kick. Tomlinson could have been played in there. And now we might live to regret it. Is the time wasting going to cost us? Is Sass Davis carrying it forward? Out to the right to Long and back to Mackenzie. I mean, Crewe have deserved it. I can't complain if they score here. But I would love to cling on for one. As Long gets down the right. Good ball in. He's offside. Definitely offside. And we get away with it. Is that a dozy from City? No, it's a different one. And it's the last chance of the game. We have finally FM'd someone. It was an absolute pasting from Crewe Alexandra. But somehow we've won it 1-0. A moment of magic from Jack Earing. And we got the result. I think you call that one the performance of champions. 3 of our last 5 league games have been 1-0 wins. When you're not playing fluently, that's what you've got to do. We're going to get through the Everton game off camera because we're probably not going to win it, let's be honest. We're going to come back though to reflect on what I think will be a pretty big transfer window in the next episode because I'm expecting both Nallo and maybe 1 or 2 others to go out on big deals. We'll also try and bring 1 or 2 in, which we're looking at the moment. And the first game after deadline day, as you can see, is the Essex Derby at home to Colchester. They're 23rd at the minute and it should be a home banker on paper. The away game we drew 1-1. So I want to give them a real pasting and we've got to show it because it might be the only year that we end up facing them. So we're going to show the Essex Derby next time out. We're going to show transfer deadline day. And who knows, we might even be in the FA Cup 4th round, though I severely doubt it after the away trip. If you're looking forward to seeing if we can stay on top though, make it back-to-back promotions and bring in money for some big young players, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know what you thought of those performances because we were brilliant against Everton. We deserve to win it. We were awful against Crewe. We deserve to lose it. But given the way they've panned out, I'll probably take them how they've fallen. If you want to stay up to date and see how the rest of the season goes and find everything else across the channel, then subscribe and turn that notification bell on. We'll be back tomorrow as the head coach returns for another reunion with our former club before we're back here in 2 days' time for our first live Essex Derby on camera. If you want to find the head coach playlist and our youth development special from Sunday, you can find both of those up in the eye above, as well as the Twitch channel and the football podcast as well. There's also a link to our partner HelloFresh in the description below. If you're in the UK, you can get 60% off your first box and more discounts after that as well. Thank you very much for your support as always. Appreciate you watching and coming along. A great effort against a Premier League opposition, but will it end up derailing our season? Hopefully financially it'll be worth it. I'll see you next time to find out how we've got on.